they
Brazil.
lose?
He did tweet out already. He said, first time traveling for my birthday. So it's fun that he's gotten to experience a new city while he's out
Let's
there.
hope that it is not a short vacation.
Yeah, I get a couple more days in there.
Get to stay.
All right, pick and ban underway for game number 1. A reminder for everybody, if you're just joining us, we have best of 5s for the rest of the week and only 1 series per day. So best of 5 Fearless always gets more exciting for me as the games go on, but early on, it is just the Pantheon locked in here for C9.
You know, I actually respect the Akali ban because that's what I remember about last year the most too from Kaze. He's been playing a lot more of the other like normal meta stuff, but I still remember last year also and being terrified of his Akali that he absolutely popped off on.
Really, any of his like melee champions. Silas was up there also. I remember being scared of that.
But yeah, like this split, he's got the more Ryze and Taliyah action, and both of those are up at the moment, so they're going to grab the Nocturne even with Orianna banned. I still think Nocturne is so underutilized just in these full engaged comps where you can get a Neeko or some other support that's really pairs well as far as using that Fog of War. And you do have, with the Taliyah angle that we were mentioning, have really big possibilities for making picks. Nocturne and Taliyah obviously can stick with Pantheon as far as these semi-globals and stuff, and so both teams are grabbing up the mobility really early on. Game number 1 of Fearless, we're getting all the tier 1 picks out of the way. Both sides, I think, will be quite happy with the opener.
And FNB had mentioned in his interview that they kind of lost track of some of the draft. That was something Azale had pointed out yesterday in their match against Sentinels, was they left up the Vi Taliyah. And so Pantheon Taliyah also a similar combo. So I like the Taliyah because it pairs with a Nocturne to get around the map. It also denies that combination from C9. So I'm already seeing, I think, an adaptation from Red Canids in their draft, keeping track of some of these power picks together as they lock in Sion, the counter, into the Renekton.
Yeah, and that's always a good, not necessarily a counter, but it's a good, like, I don't care if you're Renekton because I'm going to scale, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to stack up HP, and you better get a lot of CS over me or some turret plates, because if not, I am going to provide a huge amount of value in the team fights, as well as Sion's ultimate, really good tool, obviously, for making rotations over to dragons. It's just always so effective when, you can like ult down to a team fight and then teleport back to your lane afterwards or something like that. You can often get really good side wave control, even though you're not some sort of big bully here. So
it's almost a third semi-global ultimate if you really think about it, with the Taliyah ult, the Nocturne ult. So all 3 of these can get around quite fast to the objectives as we're in the second stage of bans. All focused on the bot lane because neither of these teams have locked in their bot lanes. Are you seeing any indication of what either one would try and prioritize?
I mean, everything is still up right now, and since the Varus is banned out for Rabelo, he really does like Yunara. So I don't see Yunara on this ban list here, and if you've got a Sion, it feels really good for Yunara to team fight behind. So that's what I'd be leaning towards, unless they're looking at some sort of specific scary lane. But that's why they banned out both the Karma and the Nami here. There you go. There's the Yunara. Good catch here from Cloud9, because I think that's definitely what they would have gone for.
I love these player POV shots that we're getting. This was happening yesterday as well. We get to see the bans before we even get it on the graphic there, as now we get to see what FNB.
Couple extra seconds.
The audience knows.
Genius.
Think of the possibilities.
There's the Neeko I was talking about with the Nocturne, though. I love this pairing. It's just, how do you ever keep track of Neeko? You know, you're turning off the lights. She turns into minions. She's not going to show on the mini-map when she's getting into some weird position, and then Nocturne ults and turns off the lights, and all of a sudden, there's a Neeko in the middle of your team.
Pop Blossom, much easier to land if they don't see it coming, I hear.
Yeah. And you usually don't, because she also goes invisible and comes out of brushes from weird angles, and so no, you definitely won't.
Just a nightmare to deal with. And it also sets up potential kill threats in the bottom lane, because if you pair an aggressive AD carry with it, Neeko can do a lot of upfront burst damage. Corki and Bard locked in, meanwhile, for Zven and Vulcan.
Nice, strong lane. Zven has really preferred the Corki. Bard, to me, maybe they can like stuff some of these engages. You can use it defensively. Vulcan definitely is a experienced Bard player and really prefers the champion. So we'll see if it if it helps them out in their attempts for some of the side lane play later, you know, you've got Bard, Ryze, and Pantheon, so a lot of options for playing the side lanes, trying to earn summoner spell advantages there maybe before you have to go into a full like front to back with a Sion on the enemy squad.
Yeah, and like the front to back, I'm not seeing as a super strong strength of the C9 composition right now. Normally when I look at like this type of comp from Red, I'm like, it's kind of low damage, but there's no true frontline tank for C9 that's going to be able to absorb all of that outside of, you know, Renekton, and Ryze can get a little beefier. You got the
Pantheon's got directional immunity, and Renekton, like the bruiser build for Renekton can actually survive quite a long time. So yeah, we'll see. I feel like Red, they're going to rely a lot on some of these picks and these really explosive plays. Nocturne, Neeko, Taliyah, like seismic shoves somebody back here out of the Neeko ultimate, and big burst damage and utility from the bottom lane. So much CC in their bottom lane, so it makes it really easy for Curse. I would say 99% chance he's going to clear top to bottom and look to try and pressure mid lane and bottom lane, and you always just ignore the Sion lane, let him farm against the Renekton. Yeah, okay, maybe Renekton gets like 15 CS lead or something and you don't really care. That's the ideal situation. If Nocturne could just repeat these full clears from top down to bottom and help out, maybe you find some plays around bottom around that Jhin Neeko.
Sion's still going to be a brick house regardless of how much CS you get. It's like affordable housing, you know, it's just like doesn't matter how much gold he's got.
Sometimes, I mean, this is Thanatos we're talking about here.
True.
Okay, Thanatos Renekton. This is his favorite pick, one of his favorite picks, and he absolutely destroys people on it. So maybe Thanatos can up those numbers.
Get those are rookie numbers. Let's pump those up.
If he's taking multiple turret plates and like a 20-25 CS lead, then the Bruiser Renekton build is a tank and is a damage threat and, you know, melts everybody around him with the ult.
Well, C9 take to the Rift opposite Red Canids Kalunga in an elimination best of 5. Thanatos has looked strong for C9 even in their 2 losses yesterday. He was the one that was kind of maintaining at least an even state in the lane. So I like that you're highlighting how good he has looked, not just at this event in Brazil, but also just throughout the split.
Put that on. Happy birthday, APA. Look at that. Yeah.
Can I get it on top of the thing, the headset? Yeah, it kind of works.
Yeah,
does this count as wearing a hat, though? Because I took the hat off yesterday.
Nah, because we can still tell you're bald.
Okay, good. As long
you're not hiding.
This is like when you have the beanie on, but like it's just barely hanging on the top. Yeah, we know what you are. All right, so laning phase has begun. You had expected Curse to be pathing top to bot. That is what's going to happen. Blaber as well. Do you think that there's any world that the Nocturne tries to contest for that bottom scuttle? Or is it like the type of thing where you just path down and then go and take the top?
Oh, yeah. I think for sure they can. I mean, Jhin Neeko can push really early on and get a lot of poke damage down. So they definitely can. It's going to depend on bot lane and mid lane. Yeah, see, they're doing it already really nicely. I will say, my preference, if I am Pantheon, it doesn't cost you a lot of time to go for a mid lane gank level 3. When I think this is not done enough. When you've cleared the first 3 camps on your top side, if you pass through mid lane and like blow the flash or something of Taliyah, then it can be like, only cost you a few seconds, and then you traverse over the other side of your map anyway. But there are wards in the river, so Cloud9 not going to go for something like that this time around. Obviously, the early level trinket wards are what kind of suss out those low occurrence plays. I don't like to use the word cheese. How do you feel? I'm trying to come up with other stuff.
Low occurrence plays.
They're low occurrence, high
impact.
Cheese is high impact and high risk. Usually people say cheese because it's high risk.
Okay.
But it can have high impact. But sometimes there are plays that people don't go for a lot that can be high impact but not super high risk.
You know, now that you say that,
those just seem good.
I don't even know where did the term cheese come from. Why do we call it a cheese play? Like, is there lore behind that? Why are we choosing dairy products to determine? What's a milk play at that point?
I'm gonna say that's a good question, and you should research that.
So many possibilities right now. As Curse will get the bottom scuttle uncontested, so Blaber's actually not even gonna look at it.
Why is it called cheese?
Why is it a cheese?
Why is cheese like a sketchy thing that's like super risky
right?
and people look down upon?
I know.
I love cheese.
Raz is in Twitch chat, but he's not an expert on dairy. He's notoriously
yeah, but he definitely
intolerant.
has an answer. He'll have an answer.
He will have an answer.
It might not be correct.
He probably forgot his lactate as well, knowing him.
He doesn't have a great relationship with cheese, does he?
Very poor relationship, yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It's an abusive relationship, to say the least. He loves it. It can't handle him.
Okay, this bottom lane, though, they get the barrier out for the heal. Pretty even on Summoner Spell trade. It does mean, you know, like you were kind of looking for, oh, are they going to, you know, fight Scuttle Crab or trade them? Nocturne, because the bottom lane was pushing, ended up getting, yes, the bottom one. Yep. And so Blaber did have to go trade and grab the top one. So Nocturne is going to be slightly earlier to the second clear. It's only a couple of seconds, but we'll see if there's any sort of timing window for him to do anything with, because he's already finished up on Krugs and Blaber just started his Gromp. But you know, it's this is all building up towards our favorite moment in every Cloud9 game, which is
second Scuttle Crab.
The 6 minutes Scuttle Crab. So it's also funny because people sometimes get confused. They're like, wait, the second Scuttle Crab, there's 2 at the beginning, Kangas.
Oh, true, yeah, fair, fair.
It's the second spawn, because the first 2 spawn at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can say second, you can say third. People are not confused if you say 6 minute,
though. If you say the 6 minutes
or level
Crab.
6.
Ah.
Either way, they kind of, yeah.
Okay, I like that. Predictions, do you think it's going top or bot? Because it also alternates there as APA flashes a seismic shove back into the unraveled earth. So a flash follow from Curse will get the fear, but the barn portal from Vulcan will save his mid laner's life.
Holy moly.
Hey.
So APA was like, I got to get off this seismic shove, and my mouse is over here.
That was crazy.
So I'm flashing it. I'm flashing it this way. It's okay, Vulcan was there with the tunnel. It does mean, though, that you have no say in this dragon.
Yeah.
You just got chased off of Summoner's Rift with your tail between your legs. And so that's going to be the dragon. And this kind of deflates our 6 minute talk, unless Blaber, ain't no way they're gonna.
I mean, could you imagine?
Yeah, that would be crazy. But it does kind of deflate it a bit, because now the Nocturne also has the dragon experience.
Yeah.
Thanatos,
should be able to hit 6 first. FNB getting pushed out by Thanatos, who uses the Dominus to trade aggressively. Already Bramble Vest on Sion means that it's so hard to kill him. It's enough armor, and then also you're just preventing any of that lifesteal, so hard for Thanatos to get anything done there. But yeah, to your point, Kobe, I mean, now we expect to see the level 6 Nocturne for the Scuttle Crab if it's going to be contested. But as I say that, Blaber's on it, and we actually have Curse backing, still level 5 on the Nocturne, so he's not going to contest for that.
Yeah.
All right, we won it.
Let's
go.
Blaber already had his stun roll. Exactly. We give up the dragon, but we get the bigger prize.
We know
even though it's smaller, it's theoretically
bigger in our hearts, Kobe.
Yeah.
It's not the size of the neutral objective. Yeah. It's how you use it. And
Blaber is going to use it to get level 6, so now he can clear the rest of his topside camps.
Now he can Grand Starfall wherever he would like after.
And then Nocturne can counter because he just finished his Krugs. And so Curse here, I think, is set up in, it's kind of dream Nocturne scenario. We were talking about, oh, Nocturne just wants to repeat clears over and over, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. And he's done that very efficiently here, plus gotten the dragon. So for Red, honestly, this is an amazing opener to the game, having very smooth pathway here. Also considering, well, the Renekton, you know, Thanatos Renekton, I think at 7 minutes, this is a pretty decent lead for himself. We'll continue to track it. He's going to have to continue to improve on it, and looks like he is probably going to go for the first item, Black Cleaver.
It's the biggest individual lead on the Rift right now, but it's not a big lead. It's basically an even game still. But it is funny just to still see red on every side for Red Canids, and then the one advantage in gold for C9 is still Thanatos in that top lane. Yeah, it's about 1 component worth of gold right now, but maybe he can turn that into more as teleport coming in from Vulcan, and the current call onto Zven. Corki taking a lot of damage, has to flash. Oh, the rocket's so close to killing Frosty, so Vulcan goes for it, flashes for the angle on the stun onto Rabelo. Now the Grand Starfall from Blaber, all focused onto the AD carry. He still had flash up, so he gets away, and the seismic shove from Kaze. First blood to Red, and they'll pick up a double.
That's why Nocturne Ultimate is always so good into Pantheon. You can counter him. My star, though, there is Frosty! Holy juke shoes, Frosty! He goes toe-to-toe, and he fights Zven down to the last auto, and then he saves his flash for when Zven flash tries to rocket him. Frosty here does everything. He starts it out. He's not scared of the teleport. They open up the Jhin combo. He's like, fine, fine, fine. I'll take this. Then when the barrier flash comes out, he flashes this, and then watch him. Even after Pantheon comes, Nocturne Ultimate turns out the lights. Yeah. So where did Neeko go? You can't find him, and Blaber is forced to go towards Rabelo, who then flashes the other way, and then Frosty got another snare out there. So the red bottom lane just absolutely juked and controlled the entire game there. Rabelo and Frosty use their flashes so well to get out of this, combined with the darkness from Nocturne, removing the vision from Cloud9.
Oh, Zven is winning the 1v1 right now. Rooted up, one more auto.
Rocket.
Ooh, the rocket again! Sidestepped, and he cannot find the kill. Back to back, almost. Zven finding outplays, as now Curse will come into the bottom lane, and Zven does not have a summoner spell, does not have a chance of escape. That is 3 kills to Curse.
This has not been a good time for C9. This tournament is not looking good for them.
Yeah, you can say that again.
I won't though, because they know it, and everybody already knows it.
They don't need to be reminded.
Yeah, it's a dog pile already. Everybody's in there yapping in their ears, so we don't need to repeat it. You know, they know. We got multiple interviews from Blaber talking about it. Yeah, they're aware. They got some issues to work on.
It's still not an insurmountable lead. It's not
Yeah, it's surmountable.
It is surmountable.
It's still surmountable for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 1.3K currently.
And it's a best of 5 this time, Kangas. So.
I like how we're starting again here early.
My chest started to get a little tight just because of yesterday. Well, it's just yesterday, but the last series. So yeah, it is it's kind of traumatizing because the last series was really rough for C9 and it was a 2-0, but it is a best of 5, so they have more time to work through it today, even if this game does go bad.
Zven trying to punish Frosty for following through that portal, but still gets rooted up. Yeah, I mean, it's the tough thing is that C9 are gonna have to find a way to stop the snowball because Red, this is their comfort. They can get these leads and run away with it. We saw or heard from FNB that they weren't able to do that in game 1 against Sentinels, but they definitely were looking at that game intently and trying to learn from their lessons, and they're starting up the second Dragon, trying to continue this stack.
And if we remember how Sentinels were able to come back in that game 1 versus Red, wait a second, this Dragon fight might be big.
C9 is actually going to contest. The Temper Fate lands onto the Dragon and the jungler. So Blaber walks in, and he steals the Dragon. That's what we're talking about. C9 finding the leash from Red and also get a kill on the way out.
And they have that confidence, Kangas, to do that because Thanatos is here. Thanatos teleports in.
He walks in, now the paranoia from Curse. He says the only way out is back in as he flashes over the wall. Follow up for Thanatos. The Crocodile's chasing him down and will call the week for the kill. C9 find a second on the board.
And every North American viewer now just breathe a sigh of relief. Yeah, I could see the tension just leaving your body right now, Kangas.
Yeah.
Your shoulders here, down, there you go.
I tweaked the shoulder earlier too, and it feels fine. I feel healthy.
Zven's gonna need some more stress relief.
Can he sidestep it? Oh, the barrier.
Uh-oh.
He's giving the wiggle. He's giving the wiggle. He got it. Oh, but Frosty was there. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It was a good attempt. It's a good attempt.
Dude, honestly, it's like a mini game. Those moments are so fun.
Yeah.
Literally, everybody's just watching. It's like, oh, which way is it gonna go? Which way is it gonna go? Definitely a funny one. Maybe. And then everyone's critiquing like, oh, well, you got to use the Valk to actually dodge a shot, the distance there. But Frosty also wrapping around does mean another kill for Red. So they still have their gold lead. And the Dragons are still split 1-1. But Cloud9 have been able to get it, back within reasonable distance here after, I'm sure I'm not the only one that was like scared because of the way that yesterday went and the very opening play or whatever of this game. But yeah, so Blaber and Thanatos, I think, are the two here that really kind of stabilized it for C9. Walking up, getting the dragon, teleport in, get the extra kill. So now it's going to get interesting, Kangas. Now it's going to get interesting. See about the snowball that you were talking about.
Yeah, we actually just have another play here in the river as C9 walking aggressively forward. APA has the support behind him as the Grand Starfall. We got onto Frosty. The Neeko will fall in trade for our mid laner as APA will fall. Zven trying to get some damage over the wall, but it's a 1-for-2 in favor of red Canids. APA and Vulcan were very far forward in the river there.
So yeah, you saw the instant communication for Blaber to ult in on top, even though APA was like 3 people deep there basically.
Yeah.
But this time, the teleport is on the other top laner. So FNB showed up and they got the extra kill.
True.
I will say your payment though, Thanatos got a lot of turret plates. I think that was 2 for him during that period. And the teleport for Sion down here did get 1 extra kill for that payment, so that means the gold is pretty close. It's still a positive play for red, but not astronomical by any means.
But the Sion had to TP down, so he's kind of committed to that lane now, and Zven and Vulcan have been poking him quite aggressively as Frosty roams up here onto APA, who just walked all the way from base and is now in danger of a dive, but not going to be executed on right now. C9 have Blaber hovering around the bottom side as well. So yeah, they're looking at FNB. The unstoppable onslaught. The flash of Blaber! Oh! Tried to body block it. Not quite close enough. Oh. I got to imagine he's...
Oh.
Okay, no, we got to keep going here because Blaber is still in Red's jungle as now they're trying to pincer on top of him. Frosty and Rabelo join up and Blaber will go down. C9 cannot get their jungler out of there in time. Yeah.
So Kangas, it is one thing to misjudge your distance and like, you know, waste your flash trying to block a Sion, but it's another more painful thing for you to then immediately die after because you don't have said flash.
Yeah. Walking into the enemy jungler, or enemy jungle.
Oh,
and you gotta imagine he's trying to flash to block it, save his W for afterwards to keep the lockdown. But you can also flash to W and just guarantee it. Yeah. Tough.
Dizzy.
It's a
little dizzy.
It was a 1,000 gold lead for red at that point. Now it's a 2,000 gold lead. So it's so many kills on Curse. Like, look at this. He is the lead right now, essentially, for red Canids. This Nocturne is so far ahead of the Pantheon. And he's done a great job of kind of just anywhere Blaber decides to go, Curse is there.
Yeah, I mean, his ult is permanently up almost with a hex plate, so
Yep.
Your cooldown is so short, like you're saying. You just keep on firing that thing off. Let's see here, though. C9, the Ryze and Bard that so often work together to attack side lanes and burn flashes is having a pretty hard time since red are 4 people up by this Rift Trail, and I think that should just be theirs. Cloud9, I think it'd be very dangerous if they decided to do anything, and they are again getting paid in side lane money though. The turret plates into Thanatos, so if you see the mini-map, Thanatos takes the whole tower on bottom side in payment for this Rift Trail that red committed 5 people to.
I read maybe a bit of an overgroup there, you could say. They get the objective, but
yeah, you for sure could say that.
Bottom turret is secured, and that is even more gold onto Thanatos, who is matching that gold lead that was in the jungle. And it went from 2K to 600 real fast as Vulcan and Zven pushing away red from the approach at this dragon. This would be the second one picked up for C9 if they can secure it. So in the extended trade, they also get another neutral objective. It was the turret and now the dragon traded for that herald. Red are going to have to get a lot for that herald usage here if they want to make it worth.
Yeah, definitely a bit inefficient.
Yeah,
I would say as far as the choice there, the call there, but they wanted Sion to be there to have their frontline priority. It's just that C9, they can definitely invest more into these side lanes. Maybe you say, oh, red aren't that worried about it because they've got Nocturne Taliyah. But by the same token, you can have Bard trail people, and Bard ult can delay long enough for the rest of you to get there. And so Pantheon, Ryze, and Bard, if your communication is good enough during Nocturne Ultimate, and you can still clearly, you know, call out the play and get everybody on the same page, then you can still fight those.
It can be really tough to land like defensive Bard ults into the Nocturne Ultimate, but it is possible. But right now Vulcan, he might need the help of his own team here. He gets out. The portal completes, and he gets back to his mid turret, which is still standing. So C9 get their support out of there. But
well, they're rotating Sion over. Are they looking for an ulti? They're gonna try and rip trail this. Yeah, I mean, but
no.
They're for sure gonna blow up and open this mid tower. Look at Cloud9, 2 side lanes this time around. So they're gonna get a couple waves pushed here. And Thanatos does have his teleport ready.
It's scary for APA to walk up and hit this turret, though. He actually is. I'm looking at the Nocturne and the Taliyah. They're both on the top side of the map here, so APA might have 2 members on top of him with those ultimates very soon.
Yeah.
I want to take a look at top side.
He does have flash, and I think he's fine, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he wants that turret, but it's so hard to actually push. If everyone's seen mid lane, you can go for that, but if you don't get there fast enough,
and honestly,
it's dangerous.
The old strategy, as old as time, of using like low health turrets as bait, it's not as enticing anymore, buddy. Because of turret plates, a lot of the gold's already been mined away. So that low health turret that's up there, you're used to thinking, ooh, that's like 500-600 gold. Sorry, buddy.
Not anymore.
There's not a lot of gold left in it. It's already been taken out in the plates. So it's not as enticing, not as strong of cheese inside the bait for those attempted plays.
But if C9 won it, they do have multiple members here. It seems like they are still trying to give APA the space to push for that.
Oh yeah, they definitely want him to still keep a healthy income on Ryze, because Ryze is critical to their game plan with this comp. Meanwhile, Thanatos, again, we always check in on him. He keeps on getting a little bit of extra gold. He's at a very healthy state. This 2-item power spike for Renekton is one of the best, but can they even bring teammates would be better. Nobody else really gonna fully commit. Bar Tunnel was already used, so I'll just grab that blue buff, but I will say,
now we have the paranoia flash to follow up. Beautiful tempered fate. And now Curse finds himself alone, but into the backline goes FNB, and they got Zven. Kaze with a flick back, and Red with 2 quick kills onto C9. They could not get that blue buff and get out of there.
One of the other downfalls for Cloud9 yesterday, that was in game number 2. Game number 1, obviously, the early games, they got blasted. Game number 2, though, getting picked off in side lanes by Furia. True. Over and over again. Furia did a very good job of attacking side lanes. And Red as well. Nice little rotation from them. I love the early flash onto Zven from Curse there. Ensure that he can get the fear, even with the attempted disengage. Some good picks there. 2 dragons for Cloud9 though, okay, and the next one is coming up in 1 minute and 20 seconds, so you can still hope for that, Kangas. The gold lead is not, you know, anything crazy right now.
It's kind of bouncing back and forth between like 500, 1.5K.
And so it's mainly about the item difference and the specific champions. And Nocturne obviously is the big gold holder, so flash here, make sure that he can get the fear, which allows Sion a very good flank, and 2 very quick kills, nicely picked off here from Red. Exactly what that comp is supposed to do. Again, the Jhin long range with the you know, pick potential here for them. So nice little chunk of gold ahead of the dragon. But here comes that dragon, Kangas.
30 seconds, 35 seconds until that's on the Rift right now. So it's about controlling these waves, pushing in. APA's pushing up on the top wave. Doesn't have TP, so he's going to have to walk all the way down. So Red actually have a short window right now to get their own vision priority, as Vulcan will fight them for that.
Nocturne is quite rich, and he's very tanky because he's so rich.
A lot of HP.
The extra tunneler here and upgraded steel caps means Curse can really dive in on
B. Oh, I thought that was the unstoppable onslaught. No, that was just him walking in there. As the flick back on the Blaber has to flash into the Bard ultimate. Tempered Fate used, but Vulcan can't get his jungler out that time. The portal gets him to safer position, but Red just have too many members there. I mean, Thanatos, he's now caught out. Red circling around him, and the Renekton will be sacrificed. C9 are just gonna hit the mid-wave instead. Red Canids find a pick in the river and will actually have to work for the Thanatos kill using the Weaver's Wall, but they were also on the Dragon the whole time. Curse is able to get that one. C9 can maybe trade for this mid turret, but everyone from Red, I mean, they're doing their job. They're getting the kill, they're getting the Dragon, and they're defending the mid turret all at the same time.
We gotta clean up these picks, Kangas.
Yeah.
Cloud9, it's people just getting picked off. I mean, we can't really go over the dragon fight, Kangas. If someone just gets picked off right before it and it's over before it even starts there, then, you know, they corner Thanatos because he was trying to set up a flank for the dragon fight. And then if someone just gets picked off, then your flank means you're exposed and you're just going to be the next one to drop over. So he went for the wave. That's why he went all the way to the enemy base. He's like, I'm going to go kill the extra
Slow him
minion
down
wave.
a little bit, yeah.
He did get a cannon minion.
Nice.
So
we'll count those. Mid also got pushed in a little bit, but I mean, I got to give so much credit to Red Canids still for just finding pick after pick after pick here. I mean, I know that as the English coverage here in the LCS studio, we might be, I might be a little biased towards C9, but like
that was the whole point.
That was the whole point. But I got to give credit to Red Canids. They're playing very, very well, and you know, they're so focused on what their comp is good at, which is utilizing this Nocturne ultimate, utilizing the Weavers while on top of it, and just finding these picks before the objective even starts.
Yep. Just keep on, repeat getting picks. They got some on the side lanes, got some right in the river even. And now with the extra funds, what can C9 do about it? They're just trying to keep up their income with the split push again, still keeping the split push. However, you have so many ways for Red to pick people off. APA gonna huddle here by the tower. Thanatos, you see him moving into jungle as well to try and get a little bit of vision there, but let's see. Still manageable. 2-2 on Dragons, and definitely still fightable here. Especially APA, you know, he procs his Rod of Ages, so he gets his extra level, he's 16 now.
He's got the Seraphs completed now, but these plays are always available for Red Canids. Just make the side lane play on the Renekton, who's all alone right now. Paranoia comes in. FNB can't lock down Thanatos for long, but it is going to be enough as Curse will go on a rampage. 7-1-3 C9, though. They're on the Baron. It'll be spotted out by Red Canids, but they're jugglers on the other side of the map. Current call used. Some damage on the Blaber, trying to body block it. Vulcan, they're giving a window, but no, they got it. C9 pick up the Baron in trade for Thanatos' life.
There you go. They take that trade every day of the week.
Good day.
Still, though, the gold lead for Red increases, Kangas, because they did nerf on this season the gold rewards for Baron.
Baron alone, yeah.
And not only did they get the pick, they're still pushing on towers. Sion's going to get another turret plate. And so it's still a gold positive play for Red.
Okay, APA just used Realm Warp to try and get away. And then he walked back into lane. I was a little worried with his movement here. He's able to go in, but Frosty stopped the back. Okay, Kaze is just going to back off. I was very concerned that APA thought he was in a 1v1. But safe play right now. APA can use this Baron to push forward. But to your point, yeah, you have to use the Baron to get more gold right now. The upfront gold you get from just the objective is not what it used to be.
C9, okay. Honestly, too, with all these flashes up, Mikhail's was just finished by Frosty. That is very good. Let's see, Mikhail's finished. Nice little spike here. We'll say Actualizer done for APA, though. Now we're ready for the big Ryze damage. If you get clumped up in one of these fights, Ryze really does thrive against this low range.
We're just taking the front to back right now. Is engage onto FNB. Thanatos on the flank here. On some onslaught use. FNB's trying to get away as Blaber follows up. That's flash out of the Sion, plus the ultimate used. Red are able to get their top laner out of there.
Okay, Cloud9 with the Baron trying to finish off the mid lane turret here. They do get that gold.
Okay. Not too shabby. I was, whenever I see a team, you know, engage onto the Sion, onto the dedicated tank, I always hesitate a little bit and be like, ooh, that's a lot of cooldowns being used right there, but they didn't use too many cooldowns and they were able to still threaten it. Tempered Fate not gonna land onto Rabelo. Will hit the turret though, as now the Weaver's Wall comes in, so Red can stop the siege from continuing. Nice little flick back there, and they got so much damage on APA! The Ryze is dead! Flash Pop Blossom from Frosty to follow up and get the kill for Curse onto Zven, and that's 2 down on C9. Red, man, their trigger pull is just so good.
I gotta say, Kaze has been cooking us.
He's been cooking.
He's been cooking us a lot. So many good Taliyah seismic shoves out of Kaze. And Red, Dragon number 3, Dragon Soul Point. They take down the Baron. They put a stop to any of that push from C9. Nicely done.
I hope we get a replay of that one, because it felt like a comedy of errors from C9. Like, I don't think Vulcan was trying to hit the turret. He was trying to hit Rabelo. I would
comedy
imagine.
rated on IMDb?
I'm going to give that one a, well, IMDb, is that out of stars? I'm going to give it a Rotten Tomato. I'm giving it that at the very least. Because that I mean, if it hits Rabelo, it's
IMDb's
cool.
out of 10.
It's out of 10?
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 2. I'm not happy with that play right there, because not only do they not get the pick, but then he kind of steps back into the seismic shove.
Well, here's my explanation why APA did that. He felt really fancy because he just dodged that Jhin W.
Ah, yeah.
Did you see him? He dodges the Jhin W, and he's like, oh yeah, I got the moves. And then he walks back up to right in front of the Taliyah wall. And then Kaze's like, yeah, I could put a seismic shove on that side of the wall too, buddy. And he does.
He does.
And he did.
He pulls him right back into the unraveled earth. And that's a combo, actually, because that stuns you afterwards. And all the damage follows up.
It is.
As now C9 are trying to stop the siege on this tier 2 mid turret. And they, will chunk down FNB a little bit there. But remember that was C9 with the Baron buff. They were able to pick that up as a trade earlier. And that was a negative Baron power play. I mean, Red Canids at the end of it do have more gold, well, just slightly,
and another
but still
dragon.
more gold.
So Dragon Soul.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
What are you giving that on IMDb? You asked me the question.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh,
so I actually am going to give it a little bit higher. It wasn't like, oh, I'm holding my belly, or, falling out of my chair or anything, but it gave me a chuckle. And then I could see why he was doing it. So I'm going to give it like a 6.
A 6 out of 10.
I think it was like a 6.
It's like a solid scary movie level,
Yeah.
It's like a parody of something
I usually
that exists.
think that, like, if something has like a 7, then it's watchable. 7.5 is like, it'll get pretty good. Like up into the 8s, and you're like, all right, it's like this really needs to be good. If it's like between 8 and 9, then I'm like, all right.
Then there's expectations.
You're you're like, oh, I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. But this one, you don't really need to tell. You're not telling your friends. You got to check that out.
Okay. See, sometimes I love 6 out of 10. Sometimes those are the best movies because like there's enough there that you appreciate.
Hate watch or like joke watch.
No.
You kind of make fun of it while you're watching it.
Yeah, but like almost endearingly.
Those are like 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
You really.
Then we get to the Sharknadoes. That's like this is bad, and that's part of why it's fun.
Yeah. I want to see what chat thinks. What out of 10 is Cloud9 at this tournament? Yeah,
in terms of comedy right now, because Thanatos getting caught again in the side lane here. It's the Weaver's Wall plus the Paranoia, and yet again, I mean, he's going to try and buy some time. Get to that wave. Can he get the cannon this time? Nope. Seismic shoved back. I think he got some of the melee minions, but man, Red every time are just punishing C9 any moment they overstep.
Yeah. Honestly, Red looking like they're going to put a very good start to this series. I know we emphasized at the beginning, we're like, oh, it's a full best of 5.
Best of 5, baby.
But the trend that we have seen for C9 after traveling here is trending downwards, let's be honest. So I don't know if Red are going to let them have full 5 games.
I mean, at this point,
we'll see.
We're going to take it one game at a time. This game is still one of those 1 games at a time. It's not out of our control fully here as another Paranoia now onto Zven, plus the curtain call. But he's able to get back to safety, and Vulcan Blaber tank up the rest of the current call shots. Blaber's about half health, but now APA joining up on the fight. They re-engage here onto Frosty, a pick onto the Neeko. Flash Pile Blossom away as the Tempered Fate lands from Vulcan, but the follow-up just isn't quite there. Sion will split the fight as he unstoppable onslaughts in, and now the rest of Red retreat away from their Sion. FNB's gonna have to try his best to get away from danger, but he cannot do it. Shut down to Zven as Thanatos gets on a Kaze. The flanking Renekton is the scariest Renekton. Thanatos gets it done.
Huge. This is Baron. Kangas, they can threaten. Now, Curse has flash and his ult will be up shortly. So C9 gonna head over to the Baron during these death timers. They have a long time with both solo laners dead. Does Red want to even try anything? It looks like they don't want to try anything. C9, they pull it back with another Baron. 2 Barons in this game. Dragon, look at that timer. 15 seconds pretty shortly with the Baron-empowered recall. Are they going to get there in time?
I mean, I think they can. Kobe, what's funnier than 1 Baron?
Dude.
2 Barons, baby. We got it, and now there is time to get back towards the Dragon. It's spawning in 5 seconds. Yeah. There will at least be a smite contest, even if Red rip it right away, but they still have 2 people dead. Death timers are real, as the Tempered Fate used from Vulcan to spot it out just in case they were on it.
Exactly.
Now C9 are approaching, teleport in from FNB. It's going to be a 4v5 here as the root lands onto APA. Frosty throws out the clone to try and buy some vision for them. Thanatos takes the Bard portal forward, but there's Kaze. Rabelo's got the damage on top of him as well. Thanatos in trouble. The lights go out and the Pop Blossom gives Kaze the kill. Now the knockup from FNB only lands onto 1. Sion taking up as much damage as he can. The current call. APA dodging that last tick of damage. C9 will trade 1 for 1. The top laners go down, but a root onto Zven! Shut up, Blaber on the curse, they got him! C9 fight 2! Blaber goes into the GA. Kaze and Frosty, the only 2 left alive. The root lands, but the threat of volleys just aren't quite there. Vulcan, he got the Q! Cosmic Binding sets up Blaber, and C9 win the fight.
Woo! That was a nail biter right there! Oh my goodness! The Cosmic Binding into the spear over the edge of the wall there, Kangas. Now,
ooh, I'm relaxed. Also, I'm comfortable again.
Ben, do you see Sven's health bar?
Yeah.
That was 1 tick left on his health bar. He valved away. He valved away to live another day.
I thought for sure he was going down there. That was a slim margin, but Blaber was able to survive that time around. Had the GA as well. Let's get a look at that replay.
I mean, this part, the magical journey got me real nervous because Taliyah's up there too, so Thanatos takes a bunch of damage. But down on the other side of, you can see them starting to work through the front line of red, and Nocturne being forced to flash out here. They actually get more time on Sion, and Kaze steps up. He wanted another big seismic shove, but that now forced him to the back of the fight because he took a big chunk of damage. I mean, C9 barely pulled this one out as APA went down right at the edge with the Sion zombie form. And then here it is, Vulcan sets him up, and he's got flash to avoid the seismic shove.
Nice.
Great setup there from Vulcan to get them that dragon, get us to 3 dragons each. And off this Baron power play, Kangas, that is a huge one for Cloud9.
Finally, they have the gold lead. It was in Red's favor the entire game, essentially, from the moment they used that first paranoia. And this is what you want from a Baron buff. The first one, you know, it wasn't quite what they were looking for. This time around, they actually do mount the comeback with a 3.2K gold lead. That was, what, a 6K delta total so far? Impressive stuff.
Large.
Yeah.
Huge. Gigantic.
Sizable.
Meaningful, too.
Robust. No? You don't like that one?
We'll see how robust it is, you know. Okay. I still feel a little shaky. Some of the dodges and little moves towards picks and stuff could go either way still.
Yeah.
We're on a bit of a seesaw here, Kangas.
And now you can say the same thing for Red, is that the game, I mean, it's not out of the...
I kind of like that there's excitement that at any moment we could go either way.
True. That is true paranoia. That's a Nocturne game, if ever I've heard of one. Speaking of, Nocturne finds Thanatos here. Kaze lands a seismic shove. Renekton taking a lot of damage, but the Deadly Flourish doesn't look like it actually got the root. Either way, Thanatos gets over the wall, back to safety.
Okay. Red are a lot of, you know, burst damage with Nocturne, Taliyah, Jhin. Really need to get some good seismic shoves. Chunk someone down, so... Honestly, I think we're going to live and die by the next couple picks.
Yeah.
Both teams have the capabilities.
And we got to, if you're on C9's side, I think the focus is don't get too hyphy, because Thanatos didn't go for a GA himself. Blaber still doesn't have his GA. They have the gold lead, but if they get picked in the side lane, they are susceptible to falling in those type of situations.
Meanwhile, Curse does have his freshly finished Guardian Angel, so Nocturne can full send.
APA does have the Zonias though, so Ryze a little safer in that side lane as he'll actually back and go to answer FNB now in the top lane.
Taliyah kind of hover plays. I like this whenever both teams have a lot of tools for side lanes. Hover plays in side lanes where you get a trailing, follower for your split pusher to look for a counter can be really big, because even a couple different seconds here as APA.
Yeah, there it is. The seismic shove lands. Paranoia as well. The Tempered Fate will buy time. time as Curse not able to get the damage in, but the Decimate smash it. Zonia's by APA, stasis into stasis, and the Ryze stands. Now C9 get the flank from Thanatos. Pop-Offs will land on the 2 members, but Zven is untouched, and the Corki can free fire. So much space and time bought by APA and Thanatos, and it sets up the rest of C9 to crush it. Blaber with a Grand Starfall over the wall, but he's actually shut down by Rabelo. Little deep there for the Pantheon. Still a team fight win for C9 as Rabelo will look for a little more on the Zven.
I've seen enough.
Okay, first dodge, second dodge. He has no idea where they are.
Yeah.
He's just free fire and doesn't land a single one. C9 answer the play.
I've seen enough, Kangas. Player of the game is Vulcan. Player of the game is Vulcan, okay? So Bard ult into instant Zonias from APA, buying so much time. Enough, and then APA comes out of his own Zonias. He pops his phase rush and runs out of there, buying the perfect amount of time for Cloud9's counter engage. Vulcan Bard! If they end up actually closing it, it would be him. If it's on the side of red, you know, maybe Kaze or something like that. We'll see. We'll see. Baron number 3, Kangas.
What's funnier than 2 Barons? Three
this
Barons.
Is a serious.
This is serious.
This is serious
this
stuff,
is serious.
okay?
We've gone from a comedy to a drama now.
Yeah.
As the 3rd Baron needs to, you know, close this one out, I would say, because the longer it goes, the higher chance of these side lane picks happening. But APA, I mean, I guess we did see exactly what you're talking about. Having that hover play from Vulcan on the Bard, it was exactly what you were just talking about happening in real time, basically. You just have your support hover that side of the map where the split pusher's going.
I'm thinking more about the red player of the games. Frosty was really good getting them the lead, remember, at the beginning?
Okay.
But Curse was the one with all the money. Okay, here we go, team fight.
We'll see if we have to address that, as this could be the deciding fight right now. C9 still have the Baron buff, and they're in control over mid wave. This is the Dragon Soul point for C9 if they... Or actually, no, it is Dragon Soul for them. They were able to pick up one.
It's Souls for either team.
3-3.
Whoever gets this, buddy.
All right, big fight now then. As the rockets come through for Zven, Curse chunked out. About half health here, so he'll look at the blue buff. But Blaber also chunked out from the seismic shove of Kaze. So both junglers sub 100% health, but GA is back for Blaber. Same can be said for Curse. And it looks like we might have a little bit of a breath here. Frosty actually spotted out by Blaber. Paranoia will be used. Frosty has a Pop Blossom, will hit onto 2 members as Kaze takes Weaver's Wall in. Straight into the waiting arms of Thanatos. Vulcan lands the Cosmic Binding onto 3, including his top laner. But the stun follow-up will mean the team fight follow-up from C9. They'll get 2, they'll get 3. And it's a 3-for-0 trade in favor of the boys in blue. C9 win another fight.
Yeah, honor Vulcan. That definitely seals the deal. I mean, he bought time for them to go in, and that's going to be the game, Kangas.
Yeah, Zven gets another kill on his own. It's only Curse left alive, and not for long. A clean 0-for-5 ace for C9, as they will close out game number 1 in this best of 5.
You know what? I'm going to go pull up some Vulcan plays right now.
Yeah, Kobe's already standing up. He's put his headset down. He's getting ready for the replays, because we're going to watch how Vulcan was able to find some clutch and very much needed plays for C9, whether it was APA keeping them alive in that top lane or that game-winning team fight right there. But hey, C9, they end the curse.
Yeah.
They're able to pick up a game. And there was concern, I think, in the beginning of this one, but it's about how you finish, chat. It's about how you're able to play in the team fights.
Oh, it is.
How we feel.
It is, Kangas. I mean, that was a roller coaster of a game. You know, went through a lot of emotions while we were watching that one. And I've pulled up one of the team fights right here that really caused you to kind of spike. So let's just run through this one, because we start out, Blaber is back here on the red buff, wants to finish it, and then Pantheon ult in. Cloud9 kind of taking a lot of space here. This is after the second Baron? One of the Barons. One of the 3 Barons that they grabbed.
I think this was the first Baron,
There was APA dodged that Jhin route and then walked up and got seismic shoved, and you're like, oh no. Yep. This is where it really started to feel like Red were going to be able to snowball this, and they were going to be able to repeat the kind of sadness that we've experienced for Cloud9 at this tournament. Kaze, I felt like Kaze had played so well on this Taliyah, so many seismic shoves, getting so many summer spells. He bought Blaber's flash right there as well, and this is the one that got them to soul point. So you were like, oh my goodness, you know, next time we get around to it, it's going to be extremely important important. But then Cloud9 started to make some plays. Let's take a look at the beginning of this one. This was towards the mid lane starting it out. And again, a lot of the wards, they get some vision, go in with a Nocturne ultimate, Nocturne plus Jhin combinations for them. You know, Curse had been really strong. He hadn't quite finished his Guardian Angel, though. And this is where we get the full
Can you go combo back? And I want to watch the start of this one again here, because it actually looks like there's no vision from Red. This is essentially a blind Nocturnal. Like, look at this.
No, they go on the trap, for sure.
Yeah, but you don't see anyone else from C9. I guess they assume Zven is alone, so they try and full send it onto him.
The Ryze is bottom at least and walking up.
Okay, still an ambitious play. They just did not expect that many members of C9 to be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so it leads to this scenario where we get the turnaround and we get the, you know, Baron that ends up coming for Cloud9. They ult out of Frosty, the flash out of Frosty. You know, it was really good from Blaber. You know, targeting enemy Neekos. If you can ever find them, you know, and chunk them out. And then you're forcing Red, half the team this way, and then the Sion ults through, and FNB was really split. And this was kind of the comeback scenario for Cloud9. That skirmish that started all out. And as you said, you know, Red was taking some risks, going just for the Corki that's showing, and chasing into the bush there. So this led to the first Baron. They're going to be able to run that one through. But then we get some more critical moments, some more fun. This was the beginning of... this was the magical journey that was so dangerous for Thanatos, but Cloud9 still ended up getting it. Okay, so look at this. Let's look at it from Cloud9's perspective, because they don't know this Taliyah is here. Yeah. So they see, he was like, hey, Thanatos, I'll get you over to this Jhin. And then they're like, oh no, the Taliyah was coming down mid lane, and Thanatos gets burst down. But then, huge burst damage onto the front line. Cloud9 actually get a lot of work there, where they force out the Nocturne, and then they're able to chunk out Kaze, because he walked up to get his seismic shove. And so this gets us to our, you know, 3-on-3 dragons, where this game was so incredibly close. And this is where we start chanting for Vulcan here, because Blaber goes into the Guardian Angel. Vulcan's like, don't worry, I'll let you get up. I'll screen him. Boom, Cosmic Binding onto the wall, flashes the seismic shove into the combo from Blaber. And then you get some more Tempered Fate.
And this is the last one right here. Yeah, this is beautiful. It's so hard to land these in the paranoia, but he's able to buy time. And then, boom.
Into the instant Zonias from APA, and then he procs his, you know, phase rush. Meanwhile, Thanatos had time to teleport to the top side because of the double immunity there with the stopwatch. Good focus fire. The shot calling from Cloud9 to go for Kaze. Definitely critical for them. They got his flash out. Thanatos flashes over to keep up the pressure too. He knows we stun this jungler and we're good. They clean up the rest of them.
Yeah, well played from Vulcan. Kobe, we're going to get you back over here because we want to listen in on some of the comms from the fights themselves and hear what it was like from the C9 perspective, because they ended the curse. At the very least, they pick up game number 1. They were winless so far in this tournament, but 1 on the board right now. Let's take a listen in.
Never worried.
Never worried. Let's take a listen in on some of the C9 comms.
I don't know. It's on me. I have stopwatch too. I have stopwatch, okay?
Guys, I have good TP angle. Look, Taliyah, I'm coming. I'm looking at you, maybe then. I'm looking at you.
I'm okay.
Look, Taliyah, okay? I'm on Taliyah.
I can only hit front.
Yeah, hit front.
Yeah, one Neeko.
I can reach back, man. I can reach. I'm ulti, guys. Look me.
Nocturne.
Look me.
Flash, okay? You're alone.
I'm chasing. Carry. Yo, there's a GA.
Coming Blaber. TV.
I'm dead. Nice.
Got Taliyah. W 2 seconds.
Nice, guys. I'm gonna push me.
Are they back?
Are they back? Ooh.
A classic Cloud9 question. Are they back?
Did they ever leave, really?
Woo. I think yesterday they did.
Yeah,
I think
true.
they left like 2 days before yesterday.
They've arrived. They've arrived now. I don't know if they're back, but they're definitely here now as they're able to strike first in this best of 5. But Red Canids, they were in control of, I'd say, like 80% of that game. If we're being honest.
Frosty looked good. Kaze looked really good. You know, I saw a lot of good things from their bottom lane, especially at the beginning. I loved their bottom lane baiting with their flashes and then covering with Nocturne ultimate. That was really nicely done.
Yeah, about 80% right there. I mean, look at the gold. It wasn't ever like crazy extreme. 3.1K is not insurmountable. As we said, it was a surmountable lead from C9's perspective. But I think echoes of what we saw with Red Canids versus Sentinels in their game 1 loss as well. It's like they can get the lead. They can play the early couple dragons very clean, but then at a certain point, they do sometimes, you know, over-aggress. I think in this time, it kind of was Curse's Nocturne ult onto Zven. You highlighted that he's seen by the trap, but they didn't know the other members of C9 were there. And there you go, Kobe. You got it. Vulcan is MVP of game number 1.
Nice Bardo.
Nice Bardo. Only died 1 time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they did a lot of dying in that game overall. So
I think there were like 15 plus deaths on the team total.
Bard is a champion too that fluctuates very, very wildly from super good to trolling your team. So good job, Vulcan.
Good job, Vulcan.
Super good in that one. We're going to throw it to a quick break. We'll be back with game number 2.